Welcome everybody. And so we're going to be talking about breadcrumbing in a little bit. But first, I just want to go over a few housekeeping things. First of all, thank y'all so much for chiming in with your goals on that post. I'm going to keep addressing that and keep up with that, just because it's something that, number one, I want to be better at, but also I want to make sure that that y'all are getting what you need as far as, what we've talked about in the past, like what success looks like for you and how I can be supporting you towards that. Because if I don't know what you're working for, then it's harder for me to give you the tools to get there, obviously. So also the 3-day refresh is coming up, actually starting on Friday. So just in a few days here, if you're going to be taking part in that rolls right into Monday the 12th, is the start of the Shaun T week on Beachbody On Demand. So those are two kind of big things coming up for the team. Dream Big is doing our group, and with that refresh and rolling into the Shaun T week, and Shaun T week turning into a longer term challenge group just for coaches. So that is exciting. Also coming up in July is Shift Shop. Don't try to say that 5 times fast. You get in trouble. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. So there are lots of ways that people are sharing on the Dream Big page for sharing that, and like lots of before and after pictures and that kind of things that are showing up on the Dream Big page. So use those, and if you need help how to get the word out with that, just let me know and we'll work through that. Which segues very, very nicely into our breadcrumbing topic for tonight. So if you have something to write on, or if you're listening to this later, this is something that has helped me focus on mainly my posting, but also focus on like how I want to share the message that I have. And I just recently kind of got a refresher course on not just social media in general, which is kind of like this huge blanket topic that is like, I don't know about y'all, but can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're not used to talking about yourself a lot or even posting a lot. It's something that we've talked about before, but needs to be, I think, focused way down to make it a little bit more manageable, kind of bite-sized pieces. So I suggest, and this is something that has helped me focus my social media, is writing down 5 things that you're passionate about. And this is all going back to, we do not sell, we share. And the biggest, best, most irrefutable platform that you can share from is your story, correct? So 5 things that you're passionate about. Mine are faith, family, fun, fitness, and I can't remember, food. I talk about food a lot. So those it made more sense for me, and it's easier for me to remember that they start with F's, look at me go and forget my 5th one. But yours don't have to, but make a list of your top 5 things. And that's going to help you kind of focus yourself on making sure that you're not like, what do I post about? And you're all over the place. And well, okay, does it fit into my 5, my little 5 items that I like to talk about? And that's kind of something that helps me focus. So write down your 5 things that you're passionate about. And those are the 5 things that you're going to talk about. Those are the 5 things that make you you. Those are the 5 things that when people meet you, they either notice right about you right away, or as they get to know you, that's what they come to know and love about you. The things that that you really care about, because you're not going to post about something that you don't care about, right? And you're not going to talk about things because if you try to sound like somebody else, like it's not sincere, it's not real, it's not you, and it comes across that way. Like the people that we talk to know that about us. Even if they don't know you very well, people can pick up on when you're talking about something that's not really your jam. So secondly, once you have your 5 things that you're passionate about, now you can kind of start building your story. And what helps when it comes, and I'm going to segue here into the breadcrumbing, start with a brain dump. Like literally sit down, write out your story, write out like, this is where I was, this is where I am now, this is where I want to go. Sometimes it helps to kind of past, present, future. But you're going to brain dump everything down. And are you going to do a post about that? Like everything, start to finish, November 19th, 1982, Martha was born, da, 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 and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Probably not. Number one, you're not going to have anything else to talk about later, and you're probably going to lose your audience, right? So brain dump everything, and then I can help you with this because it's something that I'm learning too, but you're going to go through and you're going to kind of break it up into chunks. And when I say chunks, like little itty bitty, like manageable, like bite-sized pieces. And you're gonna like, those are what, like each one of those little segments is going to be a post. So that kind of helps you focus that even, here's my 5 things, here's my story, like here's my story, here's my 5 things, it's getting smaller and smaller, and here's our little like down to manageable bite-sized pieces, not only for us, but also for our audience on social media, Facebook, whatever your platform is. Within that brain dump, I suggest doing 10 things, writing down 10 things that coaching or Beachbody or just adopting a healthier lifestyle has given you, has brought into your life. Excuse me, that was the spaghetti. that has brought into your life. Now, if you're just starting in coaching, or if you are strictly in it for now to build your story, maybe you don't have a big coaching like aha moment or a big journey. Just because that's how my journey went, and I started coaching a month after I started my first challenge group with Kristen, and then I signed up as a coach shortly after that, and there I went from there, and I kind of didn't look back. Your story is going to be different. So whether it's coaching, what coaching has given you, what Beachbody has given you, what just what having a healthier lifestyle has given you. So something along those lines. And that can be like relationships, if you want to talk about the team, about your marriage strengthened, your kids, your health, emotional, all the different aspects of your life. So think big with that. So 10 things that coaching has given you, and that's going to be your story, correct? That's going to be your, if you've ever heard of it, I just was recently going through I like to look on YouTube and like look on other teams, like trainings and like webinars and stuff that they do. And I just recently was watching one about peanut butter. And they use the term peanut butter, and that's what makes you you. And they use that term because there was a certain coach that literally one of her things that was very much her was peanut butter. So she talked about peanut butter all the time. Not all the time, like not every post, but it was like a relatable thing, and people remembered that about her. Like she would talk about recipes that included peanut butter, and like when she was out like doing things like out in the community or traveling or something, she'd like talk about peanut butter or post pictures of things with peanut butter, and people would remember that about her. And it was something that like triggered that was her, and people started like tagging her and things about peanut butter. They started but that was the thing that brought to mind this chick, right? So what is your thing? What is your peanut butter? That was something that they were talking about. So when you're talking about breadcrumbing specifically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make, they talk about breadcrumbing, like when you think like Hansel and Gretel. So breadcrumbing in like, hi Erica. So breadcrumbing like in fairy tales, if you want to call it. They talk about it like this is what helps like someone get home. Well, if you think about it in terms of like what we do and how we share on social media, breadcrumbing is like, I was looking on a website that talked about, so you're not dropping crumbs so that you can follow back to your home. You're dropping crumbs so other people can follow you back to your home. And your home can be a couple of different things, depending on what your like network marketing or your whatever you're trying to do. But in this case, you know, what our message is, our healthy lifestyle, our groups, Shakeology, you know, whatever the case may be, that's what we're breadcrumbing. So we're trying to leave a trail from where we are. Follow me along this trail, and here I'm going to give you your call to action, your introduction to a challenge group or to coaching or whatever the case may be. So you're trying to leave little hints along the way so that when you finally do come up with your, here's what I'm doing, here's my challenge group that I'm running, and this is what we're going to do, it makes sense, right? It makes sense for somebody to be like, oh, well, yeah, that's what they were talking about. We talked about breadcrumbing at the retreat that I just got, the leadership retreat, when it's talking about, you know, if you're going to do a challenge group about, oh, I don't know, like during the summer, like fun things for kids to do during the summer, and that you're going to incorporate that into your challenge group with fitness and nutrition. And also, like, we're going to talk about things that kids are doing during the summer. So you might talk about, you know, you might do a post ever so often about like, hey, here's something cool that I found about kids to do in the summer. You know, a couple of days before, a week, 2 weeks, a week, leading up to the time when you're going to do your big post about your call to action post. Hey, I'm doing this challenge group. And oh, by the way, what we've been talking about and all those things that I've been sharing, you're going to get a big slice of that pie with it. So when we talk about brain dumping, you're talking about all of those things that lead up. So when you're brain dumping and you're like, think about like everything that you want to say about your challenge group, everything that you want someone to know about your challenge group, and you're going to lead up with little hints about those little bite-sized pieces so you can brain up your story, you can brain up information about a challenge group, and then you can get little snippets of that as your posts, and then when you do your call to action, it makes sense, and it makes people want to come back for more because it's like, oh, she's talking about it again. Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that? So a couple of things you can breadcrumb about: Shakeology, or your groups, your challenge groups that you're either in. If you're just in them right now, that's great. You can talk about them, what you're learning. Little snippets of, some fun little activity that we did in a challenge group. You can talk about the little challenges within a challenge, like I think we did a wall sit challenge or a water challenge. You can talk about that. Hey, this is what we're doing in our challenge group. And then it kind of piques somebody's interest. It's a way of giving them a little taste without like dumping all over, information vomit all over them about this thing. So they want more. It kind of keeps up that little mystery. Like you want to have a little bit of the mystery still standing. So a good way to breadcrumb a group, I've heard, and I want to be better about, is talking about objections that people may have to whether it be Shakeology or your time that you spend working out, or like just those objections that people have. I don't have enough time, it's too expensive, all the different things that people say and object to about our groups. Talk about those objections, like address those objections in posts, so that you kind of address it before they even are able to ask the question about it. So when you're inviting and when you're having a conversation with somebody, then you're like, there's, do you have any questions? Nope, you answered them all. I got all my information. It's almost like it kind of primes them, and it gives them all of the information that they need ahead of time. Another thing that you can breadcrumb about is coaching. I pulled up some, I'm going to go ahead and screen share if I can. I'll minimize this, and now I have to make sure that I can actually see it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I hate it when it does this. So I screenshotted, let's see. Here's an example of, this is a post that I did. I'm using this just an example. I'm not using it as hey, look what I did and it's great, because I'm literally learning this as I'm talking to you about it. So this was a way that I was kind of trying to breadcrumb a little bit with my Shakeology group. So this was back the end of May, when I knew that second Monday I'm going to start a 5-day Shakeology group. I'm addressing questions or objections that people might have, or things that they might not know about Shakeology. I'm addressing them here. So that was kind of my example of breadcrumbing for my stupid shake. And I'm using it for lunch. So I was kind of hey, well, because people ask me all the time, well, do I have to use it for breakfast? Do I have to use it for dinner? How does that work? So that was kind of my my breadcrumbing for Shakeology. Let's see, what else did I do? Here's some breadcrumbing for personal development, because I am always grooming future coaches, correct? Personal development. This is just recently. This was yesterday. Personal development and Bible study. I share, just some thoughts and some things that I'm learning. It's not, not all about Beachbody again. Let's see, here's about Shift Shop. This was back on the 2nd. I shared a bunch of before and afters, and hey, I'm going to do this, the sneak peek, and who wants more information kind of thing. That was kind of a way of getting the word out there. And then, like I said, you can breadcrumb about coaching. That's probably easiest for me for some reason. And I'm not, and by saying that, it's not something that I'm great at yet. But I like to talk about. Oh, here's another example. Sorry. So this is meal planning and clean eating and that kind of thing. So that, again, this was at the end of May. Looking into, inviting to my June clean eating group and challenge group, and trying to relate to other people's struggles. I want to be intentional. I don't want to just throw everything out the window just because it's summer. It's sometimes it's even harder during the summer because there's less of a schedule, that kind of thing. And, we always talk about when you're posting, and same thing with breadcrumbing, you always want to inspire someone else to say, me too, or hey, me too. I relate to that. I struggle with that, because that's what's going to bring them back, because they're like, oh, well, I have that struggle too. Now, what is she going to say about it? And how can she meet that need? In a perfect world, that's what happens in somebody's brain. So that's what we're going for. So this was, and again, here, I didn't share, it's not a stock photo of the 21-day fix containers all lined up pretty with the DVD next to it, and a Shakeology bottle that says Shakeology all thrown down it. It has the little containers in there, and it has the little Shakeology packets, and it's ooh, that's pretty, it's colorful, what is that? And then some people clicked on it. We'll see. I'm taking them to the Beachbody blog. So oh, it's more than just workouts and this stupid shake. So okay, so breadcrumbing about coaching. This was just a few days ago. Boss lady. I call myself boss lady a lot, and talking about freedom and setting my own hours. And I was okay, I got done with my work, and I decided we're going to go have lunch with my girls, because I can do that. And everybody loves to see pictures of your kids. So That's good. And then just literally right before I jumped on, if you saw my post, right, like literally this was just a few minutes ago, I jumped on and I wanted to talk about, there's no dress code, like I'm in a bathing suit in a business meeting, and who can do that? And so cause you just never know who's going to pipe up. Like somebody might be like, hey, I have to go to business meetings and I got to dress up. Oh, wait, what? She's wearing her bathing suit? Oh, wait, what? Like it says something about like some people are going to be in their jammies. Like what? So like, you just never know what people are going to pick up on. And so I try to like run the gamut of all of those things. So, breadcrumbing. So if that's, and then your story, like you don't want to have you don't want to share, bare your soul and share every single thing about you in one post on Facebook, because like I said, number one, you're not going to have anything later. And you're also going to want to, have something, for future reference. And also something that you want somebody to keep up their interest, and you want them to keep coming back. I don't know why this is my yeah, there we go. I want to see y'all's faces. So did that help? Steph, was that anything like what we talked about? It was funny. We were going back and forth about some topics, and I was like, so did you like ask something about like sharing something on Facebook? And I was like, well, hey, what would breadcrumbing look like? Like, what would that, I'm learning a lot about it. And, in the spirit of sharing, like what we talked about, me coming back from retreat and wanting to share more about like what I've learned, with y'all. And I hope that, that answers, some questions and some things that I want to work on too. So, y'all can unmute yourselves if you'll have any questions.
I think that like writing the story down from the beginning is important, because sometimes things happen early in life. Like I remember a specific story from when I was little, maybe a teenager, when someone poked fun at my belly, and it being something that affected me and affected the way I saw myself. And little things like that, I think, could maybe reach somebody who maybe has had self-esteem issues in the past with their body. And so I just, like you said, I haven't, that's not been shared with anybody, and maybe dumping my story out.
Yeah.
And whole.
Yeah. And I mean, it's therapeutic to us too, right? Like, right. I mean, there's something to be said for calling things out into the light, and really getting your story out there, and getting, something that you maybe it didn't even occur to you that was a part of your story, or maybe even something that was a part of you that someone else could benefit from. Right. So never discount. I've said that a lot in our groups, and I've kind of, I believe that wholeheartedly, that everyone has a story, and everyone needs to hear your story. So there's nobody that has a story that's more important than anyone else's. And it's one of the things that kind of helps me like keep my mouth closed a little bit more often, and stop talking so much about myself, and ask more questions and try to get more information about other people, because I'm like, it's not all about me at all. It's not about me at all. So kind of try to open that up. But yeah, that's a good point, Steph. Just getting it all out, and because you never know what's going to jog. Like, hey, well, maybe that would be, pertinent to someone else. And
right.
So that's good. Any other questions? Let's see, what time is it? It's about 5 minutes until the Dream Big call is starting. I'm gonna, if there's any questions or anything that you need to know about anything like what we've talked about, or anything at all, Shelby, also, like, feel free to use our Team Boundless page. That's what it's there for. It is y'all's page. I'm going to say that probably every time we get together, because I want y'all to use it for questions, for encouragement for one another. Keep talking about your goals and your dreams, and so we can go for those together. The closer we're getting to Summit, the closer I am to wanting to encourage y'all, so that we can all be there together next year. That's really something I'm passionate about, and just reaching those goals that y'all have, and making sure that y'all are getting what you need. So if you have any questions that y'all think about, please feel free to either message me or post those, comment below when I post the recording. And I'm going to go downstairs and watch Beauty and the Beast with my family. And I'm going to have, yeah, we made a special trip to Walmart to pick it up because it came out today.
It did?
And Daddy hasn't seen it yet.
I had it in my cart and I went back for the gym floor.
The gym floor, yes. So yeah, Steph's gonna go be a beast herself.
Right. I already did.
I love it. But yeah, I'm gonna catch the Dream Big recording later. We have a sneak peek to coaching coming up. So be on the lookout for that, the Dream Big sneak peek. So if you have people that are interested in coaching and want more information, this is a good place to plug them in. So I'll make sure and get that information to y'all as I get it. Cool? Y'all are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. It was good to see you, Erica. And Shelby, thanks so much for calling. Y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.